let's talk about this Bitcoin pattern, the ones that the whales use to fool you. I guess we're all still digesting what has happened the last 2 days. The SEC and Gary Gensler coming down hard on Coinbase and Binance, and basically saying they're unregistered exchanges. So he probably feels compelled that he has to do something right now to save face or save him, save his job. I don't know, but it has certainly brought people together. Now, Coinbase Stock has been hammered over the last few days, right? But Cathie Wood, the ultimate Bitcoin bull, saying, I don't care. I don't care either. She buys another $21.6 million worth of Coinbase shares. See, this is what you're supposed to do. If you are a believer, and Cathie Wood is certainly a Bitcoin and crypto believer, ARK Invest has predicted that Bitcoin in 2030 could be as high as $1.6 million. And at the worst end, it'll be $250,000. Okay, so $250,000. Median was like $600,000. The best case was like $1.6 million, right? So she's ultra bull. Like, there's certain people that just does not think this or these SEC lawsuits really mean a whole lot. Gary, because he was being laughed at, he's like, oh, I got to get more serious. So he's requesting for assets to be frozen on Binance.us. Although he's not suing Binance.us, he's suing Binance, but he's making this connection that Binance and Binance.us is too close together and CZ controls both entities. So he's trying to scare the bejesus out of people by requesting for assets to be frozen on Binance.us. Now, whether a judge is going to grant that, unknown at this point. I would say unlikely. But, the funny thing is, people are looking at, well, is this really scaring people? Are people like mass exiting Binance.us? And the answer is no. Basically, I mean, you have a little bit of exiting, right? If you want to be safe, of course, you want to get your money out. Okay, it's never too late to get your money out and put it in a self-custody wallet, right? Put in a mobile wallet or browser wallet or a hardware wallet. It's always a good time to do that. But you would figure with this threat, there would be billions and billions and billions flying out of Binance. Not the case. 100 million of Bitcoin withdrawn yesterday. Okay, good amount, but still not the billions that people are thinking about because, quite honestly, again, people are not really taking this all that serious. So, Gary, I don't know what Gary's trying to do. Like I said, I can only speculate what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to protect the Fed because they're interested in the Fed now. He's trying to protect banks because he was a banker for a long time. I don't know what he's trying to do, but whatever he's doing, like, he threw down the gauntlet the last 2 days. Okay, and it hasn't really worked. Now, I remember that Bittrex, which is also a U.S. exchange, and he went after them, and they did shut down, right? They went bankrupt. They said they're closing doors. Going after smaller guys who does not have bank to fight the SEC with, well, they'll probably fold, right? But, Binance is not folding. Coinbase certainly is not folding. It'll be interesting to see if this is going to be a multi-year lawsuit or what, or SEC is going to drop, or maybe Gary Gensler gets replaced and it just all gets dropped. I don't know. Here's another chart showing the realized losses from the last 2 days. Again, when two of the largest exchanges get attacked, you figure there should be a lot more volatility, right? There should be a bigger negative price impact, but that's not the case. So the realized loss was about 112 million over the last few days, right? So that's 96.5% smaller than the largest recorded capitulation event. So it didn't even register. That's how stable things are. Look at it very right. I mean, it didn't even register compared to, let's say, the FTX crash or the Luna crash or Celsius crash or even the 2021, whatever that caused Bitcoin to go down from 64,000 down to 28,000, right? Those were massive, massive capitulation points. People were very scared and got out. Yesterday, look at it in comparison, right? Again, people are just not taking what Gary's dishing seriously. And it's probably driving him nuts right now. Like, I mean, honestly. Again, it goes to show how strong Bitcoin is and how strong Bitcoin holders are. This is a Wyckhoff pattern. And, this mustache guy, who actually does a lot of good charts, he's been following this since December 2022. And, Wyckhoff, this pattern, was popularized around, I think it was popularized in around 2020, but it wasn't really applied to Bitcoin for a long time until it was. But the Wyckhoff pattern, in case you're not familiar, is a way for whales to fake out everyone, the general public, and then get in, okay? They get in low, and then they ride the thing back up. And if you look at it, if you look at this pattern and look at what Bitcoin has done, since 2021, it's like almost identical, right? Like it followed the pattern almost identically. And it's just really interesting. And again, what's the whole point of this? The point is to drive it to a point where they can accumulate and then start riding it back up, right? Obviously, we had a long stint under 20,000, right? We had a long stint around 15, 18s, right? But now we're climbing back up. And if we are following this pattern, the next leg up will bring us into the 40s and 50s. So again, is that coming in July? Many people have predicted we will see a huge rise in July due to fractal patterns, due to signals, and this is one of them. Wyckhoff pattern means we are following it. Again, and if we do follow it, and we do see 40 to 50Ks in July, well, then it's no coincidence, right? It does show you that there are some whales out there or market makers that have been playing the retail people for a long time. And basically, this is a game of accumulation. And here's one that shows you the whales, what they do. Whales sell at top and then they buy at bottom, right? So this is a number of addresses with over 10,000 Bitcoin. 10,000 Bitcoin. You can see when Bitcoin peaked, guess what happened? They started selling. They started selling into the rally, right? But then once Bitcoin started coming down, guess what? They started buying. There was a huge number of accumulation. Look at that. Look at that pump of addresses right around when Bitcoin dropped to 15,000. That's actually when most of them loaded up. Again, you can't, it's clear, right? This is what the whales do. They accumulate when the market's down and then they sell when the market's up. It's really that simple. So don't be fooled out. Don't be faked out. Don't be fooled by what they're doing. All right, last few points.